This is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, defense, go defense, defense, gone defense, defense, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas Doomsday. Time to go to work. Listen what the hot boys tell them. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods. Plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds. The hot boys shining. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys. is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboys Scout.
Appreciate
My
it.
man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about this?
But at the same time, I also believe that
They say.
for the most part, I think that the Dallas Cowboys do a good job of hiding the things that we can't do without him, and we can't. What's up? Hey, I'm trying to get the big homie Boss Cowboy up in here on my IG, so y'all just be bear with me. I see you, Marcus, but let me see if I can go live with Marcus. Go live with Marcus. We about to be on, baby. Do you see it? Hey, what's up with your Facebook? I didn't even know I was live on there. What's up with your Facebook? Hey, it is your boy West Coast. We about to be live in the building. We already live in the building. I'm trying to get Boss Cowboy live on IG also so that we can have a collaborative show. But it says he's waiting on Marcus 186 to accept it so that we can be live on IG and Facebook at the same time. But hey, how you guys doing today? How y'all feeling? Hey, you guys know that today we'll be getting on an airplane to go to Dallas to see my Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys, play the Green Bay Packers this Sunday. On Saturday, remember, I will be in the building with Jalen Smith, and I am going to have a special guest, and he currently starts for the Dallas Cowboys. So I will have a special guest in the building, and it's going to be love, man. Boss Cowboy, what's up? You get it? Is it going through?
Yeah, man, I just sent you a request. You didn't get it?
No, did you send? You have the one? Oh, Jesus, hold on. All right, it says I just added. All right, we should be up in like 2 seconds. Okay. It says it sent you a request. Let me see. All right, now I'm about to add you. Don't add me. I'm about to add you right now. Let's see.
All right.
Now, it says it's waiting for Marcus Smith 186. Do you see any notification on your phone?
Yep.
Anything?
I'm doing it now.
I see you fixing your hat, so that means you're about to be live in 2 seconds. We already live on Facebook, so they already seen it. We both need haircuts. It's all good. Hey, we in the building, man. What's up? Hey, boss. What's up, man?
Hello, West Coast. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right, so we live on Facebook and we live on Instagram now. It looks like we having some technical difficulties, but it's all good. We still about to rock, man. Let's get this thing going. So, hey, man. So this weekend, the Dallas Cowboys will be hosting the. They said yes. You gonna do it right now? All right. Yeah. I know. I'm gonna have to close my garage anyway. But hey, man. So this show is only gonna be honestly about 30 minutes because I have y'all have these nice gentlemen that are gonna do some work on my home in front of me, and it's gonna get ridiculously loud. Hey, can you give me 15 minutes? All right, take a lunch on me. I'm not paying though, but the Dallas Cowboys will be hosting. Hey, boss, I'm about to disconnect on this because it's not doing it, and then I'm gonna try to let you back in again. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna be hosting the Green Bay Packers this week. I'm going to be in the building this week, so make sure you guys come out this Saturday because this Saturday I will have, like I just said, I just repeated it again, I'm going to have my boy Jalen Smith in the building, and we're going to have another surprise Dallas Cowboy. So make sure you guys come out and support. We got Boss Cowboy on there. If he's on there, you guys hear him. Let me know if you guys hear it. This is our first time ever doing this, and I want to shout out Cowboys Packages because it was my sponsor, Cowboys Packages, who said, West Coast, I have a freaking idea on how you can get Boss Cowboy on the computer with you at the same time. And it looks like it works. Yo, if you guys can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Boss Cowboy, say something to make sure they can hear you on Instagram too.
I'm certain they can hear me.
He's so overly confident this morning, man. That's why.
You know what I mean? I'm certain they can hear Boss.
They can hear the boss? Okay, I just want to make sure, man. Okay, so, hey. So we in the building, man. We ready. All right, let's have ourselves a show, man. So what y'all want to talk about? Because we didn't talk about, I know, like, come on, what y'all want to talk about? It's Thursday. We got a game on Sunday. What y'all want to talk about? Do y'all want to talk about the new news about DeMarcus Lawrence probably having a heel injury? I know y'all don't want to talk about it. I know y'all probably tired of talking about that and these injuries and these guys who might have injuries or dinged up a little bit. But let's talk about that a little bit, man. Boss Cowboy, what was your first thoughts when you heard Jason Garrett? Now, remember, DeMarcus Lawrence was a full practice participant yesterday in practice, so this is something that was probably maybe bothering him yesterday, and they might just be giving him a little break. But Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts on this, man? And if y'all don't follow Boss Cowboy, man, this is my co-host. This is my left. I say my right hand man, but my right hand is down. This is my left hand man right here, man. So you guys have probably already heard his voice and seen his content before. So Boss Cowboy, man, let me know what's up, man.
I mean, the first thing I thought is just like pretty much football. In a game of football, whenever you start really playing the game, it's a violent game, so bodies are going to start dropping, you know. So he's not dropped. He's just having something that Jason Garrett was put out there to let everybody know that he's dealing with something. But I think it's something he's going to be able to play with, especially with the fact that he participated, you know, all practice. I mean, if you're practicing pretty much early, I don't see why you wouldn't play. So I'm not really concerned about it, and especially with the emergence of Quinn, you know, and hopefully that's almost like a smart mirage move from Jason Garrett to where he could be trying to, you know, put a smoke screen out there to try to get the Green Bay to maybe try to focus on Quinn and give Tank more one-on-ones, because according to most reports out there, Tank is the most double-teamed DN in the whole NFL right now.
36% to be exact.
So if you make him look like he's wounded, that might give you a false confidence to try to go one-on-one more, especially with the way that Quinn dominated. So it's hard to ever say what's real and what's fake when it's leaked from the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, and especially this close to the game, you know, I can see them sometimes throwing out a mixed signal to kind of confuse their opponent.
Hey, what them boys say in the club to them, girl, you better grab it to make sure it's real. I need to grab it to make sure it's real. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because you know how, hey, that's how it be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a mirage, you see that thing walking through the club, and then you be like,
man, don't tell me boys out there doing that now.
I'm just saying. I don't think they care.
I mean, you know, I wouldn't know, but
I wouldn't know either, because I'm, you know,
right.
We need to stop talking about that type of stuff on the shows too. But
true.
On another subject, like I said, man, that is a great point, because that's exactly kind of like where I was kind of going with it too. I was under the impression, like, isn't it funny that like something like that comes out like a day and a half before the game? Like it could easily be something. Like it could really be something. Like it could really be something. But just like everybody in Dallas, like right now, if I played for the Dallas Cowboys and I walked out of my house and I stubbed my toe, I would hit up Jason Garrett and be like, yo, man, you gotta get an MRI on my toe to make sure it's fine. You know what Jason Garrett's gonna say? Man, come on down. It's free. We got one in the building. Just come use it. You know what I'm saying? But when they put that information out to the world, you know what it says? Oh my God, West Coast is done blogging. He won't be able to go to no more games. He had an MRI.
Right. I mean, this, you know.
And everybody in Dallas is like, well, that's what we got the machine for, so that we could use it for anything. You know what I'm saying? But as the same token, there's a reason why Bill Belichick does not put out his injury list until an hour before the game. You want to know why? Because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Why give someone an advantage if you don't have to? And so I'm going to be honest with you. I 100% agree with you on this one. Could Tank be dinged up? Yes, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you're really playing in the NFL, I don't think no one's not dinged up. Like, you're getting hit by grown men. I even think Dak probably even has a little dingage somewhere, but it's not to the point where it's affecting his play, or it's not to the effect where he has to bring it up. But I just don't think that any grown man that's running into another grown man doesn't have something dinged up on his body. That's just real. So that's the injury updates on the first. D-Law, we'll talk about a little bit on D-Law. We talked a little bit also about D-Law also. We talked a little bit about offensive adjustments yesterday too. Something that we didn't really touch on is the first look on Green Bay, man. When Boss Cowboy, what are your first thoughts when you think of Green Bay outside of anything that's Aaron Rodgers? Because I think some people, when you hear Green Bay, it's the presence of Aaron Rodgers is just so big that it's like Aaron Rodgers. Like when you say the Texas Fair, what's the first thing you think of? Ferris wheel. I'm not even from Texas, but the first thing I think of, or that big old statue of the white dude like this, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing you think of when you think of the Texas Fair. I hope I can get to go this week too. But when I think
love it.
I've been once. But you get what I mean, Boss Cowboy? That's the first thing you think of. You think of the Ferris wheel. But there's so much other stuff at the Texas Fair other than the Ferris wheel that's fun to do. So what are some things
the first thing I think about is susceptible run to the run. That's the very, very first thing I think about, obviously, because I just got through researching them, in depth. So, and I don't want us to fall for the banana in the tailpipe because we basically kind of lost the matchup in the trenches. Our offensive line lost to a very talented Saints defensive line. So I can see us kind of falling for the banana in the tailpipe, thinking we need to kind of come out and kind of throw it around and all that kind of stuff, which I also think we can throw it around on this team. But the first thing that I think about absolutely is one of the keys to beating Green Bay is to control them on the ground. That's the very first thing I think about, especially when you watch them play Philly, because Philly is one of the biggest indicators, and their offensive line is talented and is built as well like ours. And in the later parts of the game, when you have to get a stop, I watched that very, very closely. And I was watching Green Bay, and they was in a must-stop-the-run situation.
They couldn't.
And they could not. And I'm talking about they was gashing them. I think one of the backs was averaging about 6.5, and the other one was averaging around 5.5
the button on
for the whole game. Wentz had around 170 yards passing in the air, and they put up over 30 points on. So if you look at it closely, it clearly shows that they beat the Green Bay Packers on the ground. And, they got rid of Daniels last year, and they're missing him. So I think they're susceptible to the run. That's the very, 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 very first thing that I think about West Coast. And then also I think about us really more than likely having to attack them, especially in the interior, because it's a lot of reports coming out about us having tackle issues. Not just Tyron Smith, but also Liel. It's very scary when you're looking out there and you're seeing Knight as the right tackle right now, knowing that Knight was an undrafted free agent. And there was some stuff and good stuff that they talked about him in OTAs, and it was good stuff that they talked about him a little bit, his effort and his technique and all that kind of stuff. But man, it's just hard for me to really believe in this game that an undrafted free agent being thrown out there is going to be smart for us to throw the ball. So it says to me that even if we don't want to, we're going to have to really run the ball. This is if we having tackle issues, the key to winning this game is going to be running the ball and allowing our tackles to heal. And I mean, it's no other way to say it. It's just no other way to say it. We got to let those tackles heal.
You're good.
We have to let the tackles heal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I apologize. I got a barber who ain't never drove a brand new BMW, so he don't know the car won't move and the door's open. But great, man. Those are all great. Now let the garage down for me. All phenomenal, great points, man. Remo, what's up with you? Hey, I appreciate everybody over there on IG. My boy, if you say so. I'm going to throw you guys a shot at Dak real quick, man, because this is a good question that people were asking. They say, and my boy says, why do people hate on Dak Prescott? Oh, my God, I broke the screen. Why do people hate on, my boy says, bro, why do people literally hate on Dak? Even Dallas fans hate on him. I mean, that's a good point. We're going to hit this light right quick. Boom. All right, now we're ready to rock and roll for sure. Hey, that's actually a good question, and I promise you, we will go back to that. Boss Cowboy, what was your last point you was making on that Green Bay?
Yeah, I was basically saying, the first thing I think about is us beating them on the ground and not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, thinking that just because we lost to the Saints defensive line that we shouldn't go back into this game with a run identity. And I do believe currently our offense have shown that we're much better when we run off of the pass. But this game, you can't watch this game and you can't scout Green Bay and stick to that philosophy. If I really believe in all the stuff I've been preaching all offseason when I've been saying that we should be an adaptable offense, I can't go into this game like the smartest thing is to throw. Even though I think they're susceptible to the throw. You got King, who's suffering a groin injury right now at cornerback. And I think King already just don't match up to the quickness of our receivers. We can throw on these guys, but it's one of those things to where I say our best chance is to really go to the body. And when I say go to the body, I'm saying run the ball. And then I was also saying, just as a recap, that our tackles are right now susceptible. So if our tackles are susceptible, coming out throwing is kind of the stupidest thing you can do, because you're putting your tackles in a position and Dak in a position to where he can get sacked a lot. It's bad for his confidence. We already saw that happen versus Atlanta in 2017. When both tackles was having problems, we saw a major downturn on our season overnight.
Yeah,
and a lot of people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And a lot of people don't know this. I mean, most people don't know this. Wentz became the leading MVP week 9 of 2017. You know who was beating him statistically almost across the board up into week 8, up into the Atlanta game? Dak. So it's like those tackles are so important to the whole function of our offense. So, and a lot of people sleep on that. Like, for instance, a lot of people blame the absence of Zeke for that 6-game suspension series or period, when the real detriment to our season was the absence of Tyron Smith, with Bell and Green protecting his blind side. That's what was really killing us, and that's why our offense was stagnant. Even when Zeke came back, our offense was stagnant. Because think about it, that Philly game, week 17, Zeke played, but we still struggled to get 6 points on Philly's B team.
Yeah, that was an offense that was just any changes was not good for that offense last year. Whether I mean in 2017, whether it was Zeke, because you got to remember the worst 2 games we had of that season was Zeke's first game leaving and then Zeke's first game back. You know what I'm saying? So that lets me also know that's an offense that is just changing what they're doing in their philosophy, especially midstream, is almost like not a good thing for the Cowboys. Like, where some teams, I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody just wants to have to change or do stuff differently, but there's going to come a time in every football game where you're going to have to adjust the things that you are doing. And, man, whenever we had to do large adjustments, whether it's adding a great player or taking one off, that offense could not adjust to it at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? But and that's a great point. Just to give you guys an update on the tackles, the reason why he's talking so adamantly about those tackles is because Leo Collins did not practice yesterday, y'all, and he did not practice today. They had, what's your boy name?
Knight.
Brandon Knight. I thought he was quarterback at first. When I heard Brandon, I was like, what? He's a quarterback. Didn't he used to play at Arkansas? But yeah, he's actually an undrafted free agent. Boss Paulo, tell us a little bit about Brandon Knight, man.
I mean, the only thing about Brandon Knight that's positive is that he was considered one of the best sleepers in OTAs. So there's nothing really out there that brings major excitement about him, just to be honest. So, and you basically could be thrown out in the fire, and it's signaling a lot of bad signals. It signals to me, and I'm just being all the way honest, panic. Major panic.
Because it's like, where's Joe Looney? Where's Xavier Su'a-Filo? Like, what happened to him?
Right, they had Xavier Su'a-Filo playing
starting yesterday.
Guard. Yeah, and then they put
Connor
Williams at right tackle, right?
Yeah,
and remember I said this yesterday. I said I wasn't excited about Connor Williams playing right tackle. Not because I don't believe in him, but it's because I was watching the body language and the reports of when they tried to get him to play tackle in the OTAs. Like, Gary didn't speak highly of him, and he didn't speak highly of himself. So when somebody's making a good showing, you can see it. But it was such a bad showing in OTAs that they switched him right back to guard, and it was like, that's where you go stay. So I'm actually not surprised that all of a sudden they say, okay, get back in guard. Xavier Su'a-Filo, sit down. And we're going to even have to go reach and go get Brandon Knight to go play our right tackle.
Yeah, because obviously he didn't do good. Obviously he didn't do good.
Obviously he didn't do good, because if it was working, they would have came out with that same lineup. Because at least you know this. Xavier Suafulo can play the guard position.
Yeah.
Now, is he super quality? No. But can you win a game with him? Yes.
We won a game with him. We won Philly, the first Philly game.
Yep. So you can win games with him, and he's hit or miss. He's pretty good on run. He can disappear on pass pro. But to just sit him down and then come up with Brandon Knight, that looks like panic.
Yeah, and especially since Brandon Knight hasn't played a down all season. Like that, like how you go from not playing a down all season to starting.
Panic. And I mean, we just got to call it like we see it. And it's like, if we calling it right, get ready to see another anemic game. Get ready for this offense to look similar to what the Saints look like.
Yep.
And I mean, and it is not that we wouldn't want to make the adjustments. It's just that how do you come out silly enough to say we're going to come out throwing the ball when you don't really know what your right tackle getting ready to do? You got to come out and at least test it, right? You got to at least see,
because you're not gonna. Yeah. Because think about this, boss. With those, because you got to remember, Green Bay knows who our tackles are too. So when Green Bay saw that, you don't think they adjusted what they were gonna do? Yo, they have a right tackle who's a rookie who ain't played all year. You think they're gonna make him the point of attack for a pass pro? No, that makes no sense for the Dallas Cowboys. If anything, it says to go away from him. So that makes me think that a lot of our plays, for the most part, are going to be going to that left. I mean, damn, you really can't even because Tyron ain't open. I mean, what I see is a lot of up the middle. The safest place on this line right now is between Zach Martin and Travis Frederick.
Yeah,
that's what I see. And to be honest with you, that's not
the safest.
And think about this, boss. That's what we did against the Saints. That's what we did against the Saints.
And quick play action throws.
And no screens.
No screens. Development. Not no play action to where you on the center. I'm talking about shotgun play action where you can see everything.
And then no screens. And then how are you going to run the screen? You have two new tackles. The screen is, the
screens could actually be best because you allow the defensive ends to get a rush on the quarterback when they're antsy, right? And then you can dump it over their heads and then try to get behind them with the screen game. But it will, to me, we will come our best attacking like the Saints attacked us. Like, just to be honest, because the Saints was super dink and dunk. And it's not saying Dak can't throw downfield because we already know he can. I mean, now we know that for sure, especially with him being number one in deep ball throws so far this year. So we know he can do it. Now it's going to be a situation, is this smart to do it? Because if you start having these deep dropbacks and you mess around and have a Chaz Green playing right tackle, our offensive coordinator himself would have put us in the hole.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you do that? So it's like we got to me, kind of gear this game down, kind of water down the offense, test to see if he's holding up on that right side, then start possibly taking shots. And when you take shots, they're going to have to be quick shots.
And then also something that we need to do too is like, we're very in that shotgun formation. I get it that we all feel good and safe in there, but we are very, very predictable out of that shotgun formation. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, I was reading this article this morning, actually last night, and it had some good pull-out stats in it. And it was just saying how the Dallas Cowboys 85% of the time was in shotgun formation, and 80% versus the Saints. 85% of the time we were in shotgun formation, and 80% of that time when we were in shotgun formation, we passed the ball.
Yeah, and the sad thing about that is that
any defense is gonna notice that. Like, I'm mad I didn't notice that.
And the sad thing is that style of offense is perfectly predictable, and that style of offense is exactly what we was doing last year.
It gives the deep. And think about this. Not even that it is predictable, but think about this. Who are you giving the advantage to? You're almost giving the advantage to the defense.
Yeah, you telling them when you line up basically 85% of the time we throwing. So it's not hard to make an adjustment against that because you're not keeping them off balance.
Exactly.
You're not keeping them off balance. And then the other side of that article, because I read it too, which is sad, is that also under center, we went back to 85% of the time or 70%. It was one of those. I don't want to misquote it. It was something that was in the high percentages. I just say that without misquoting it.
You talking about them not letting Dak drop back a lot farther than 3-step drops? That was like
No. I was saying that they ran the ball when he was on the center.
Oh yes,
at a high percentage. So, and that's also similar to what we was doing last year. Versus the first 3 games, we was more so mixing it up. It was a lot of first 3 games we was throwing on first down a lot, keeping the defense off balance. We almost resulted almost 100% back to what we was doing last year.
So basically, if you're a defense and you're a defensive player, boss, and I'm Dak Prescott and I come out in shotgun formation, what do you think I'm doing?
Audible to cover two.
Pass the ball.
Pass. Watch the slant. Straight up. If he come up under the center, you say, watch the run. Zeke, stack the box.
And then think about this, boss. It also said we did some type of motion on 76% of our passes. In the last game, it was like 33%. So not only are you running a play that a defense is like, bro, are they really going to try to come out here in the same? At some point, the defense is like, are y'all really about to try to do that? And then you do it over, and then you're not even trying to like throw a motion out there to try to make the play look different. So you're literally running the same plays and hoping that they don't notice it. Or you're hoping that we're just the Dallas Cowboys and we're going to execute. And guess what happened? We didn't execute.
Yeah, and I know West Coast, you don't want to hear this, man, because you're not a conspiracy theorist. But, man, the more the week that goes by, the more this look like Jason Garrett, man. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, and obviously I don't know this for a fact. This is speculation. But all last year they talked about how Scott Linehan basically had to run Jason Garrett playbook. That was said over and over and over and over again. This has too much of a feel when you see, and I was saying this yesterday to somebody, that if it smells like Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan, if it looks like Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan,
but that's what I'm saying though. Jason Garrett, this is my thing, right? That defeats the purpose of what Kellen Moore is then, because Kellen Moore has a play of 100 plays. It could say Jason Garrett's playbook, but he is the one that determines what physical plays they're calling. So
it also because they have a call sheet, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So they would have used that call sheet weeks 1 through 3 too.
Yeah, no, I agree. See, this is what you're saying, so I can make sure everybody know we're on the same page. You saying basically it's still on Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore has all these plays that he can pull from that's outside of the Jason Garrett playbook, and I agree.
No, even then, this is my also thing that I'm saying. I'm saying this, like, let's just be real. Anybody who came into this season assuming that our playbook was going to be 100% different than what it was that wasn't realistic. Like, let's just be real. If you're a person and your job is on the line and it's all predicated on how this guy performed, aren't you going to have some type of input? You don't even know Kellen Moore. You don't even know if he's going to be successful. Like, so that kind of like makes sense. Like, that just makes sense.
It does make sense. And then I said this from the beginning of the season. Both of them worked. So it's almost like when you look at our running attack the last 8 games won us 7 games, right? The Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett Wade did win us some games. So what I think that could be happening is you could have 2 people who believe in their philosophies. You have Jason Garrett that say, hey, look, Kellen Moore, we went on a run with this offense. And then you can have Kellen Moore like, yeah, I feel that, but I feel like I would rather come out this way. And they using the season to determine which one is best. Because we saw pretty much game 1, in my opinion, Kellen Moore coming out like we throwing the ball, which was super different than what we've done the last 4 years. We was very unpredictable and all that kind of stuff. It was super fresh. Then game 2, I saw a mix of the two. Right? They came out against the Redskins running the ball the first 3 series, and it was pretty much dead. Right? Yeah. So, but then they came out throwing after the 4th series, and they had 5 consecutive scoring drives. Game 3, they did something different. They came out pretty much, they threw in the first series, but then they started running the ball from the 2nd series on with some sprinkles of throwing. Right? And then by the second half, they blew them out. It looked like the 4th game, they was like, we finna go all the way back because we feel like this is the best way to defeat the Saints. We want it because it's almost like me and you said this before. Game 1 showed that they have now 2 ways of attacking. They can attack you through the air or they can attack you through the ground under the old system. And it's like they went back to the old system. And so it's like, but now I don't like the old system. You know, it maybe only because it had a funky taste in my mouth from the Saints. But just the more that I'm looking at it, the more I'm starting to really believe, and obviously we got to give it more games to say this soundly and for sure, that I'm starting to like us more so running off the pass than passing off the run, except for this game. In this game, I'm thinking we should run off the pass. This is the one game that I feel like Green Bay is built and they have a weak body. And when I say that, I mean you can run on them. And I think we should go at them the way that we used to attack teams the last 7 games.
And to be honest with you, that's why my statement that I'm going to keep on hanging true, and that is this. You do what you have to do to beat this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are not a run team. We are not a pass team. We are a team that has
adaptable.
Yeah, we are a team. We are in a 1-game season against the Green Bay Packers, and we are going to do everything we have to do to beat this team. And guess what? If that means changing the whole philosophy next week, then guess what? We'll change the whole philosophy next week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Green Bay. Like, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you guys a great quarterback who also has a ton of games under 200 yards. I'm going to tell you who it is. Tom Brady. You want to know why? Because nobody trips on him. At the end of the day, it's about winning the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about winning the game. Yeah. They have no problem. Like last week, look at Tom Brady's stats from last week. Horrible. But guess what? They won the game. You know what I'm saying? And at his age, Tom Brady could care less about the MVPs, and he could care less about any of that stuff. He's not playing for MVPs. He is playing to get that ring. And guess what? If that means I'm going to throw 1 touchdown this game, I may have to throw 6 the next game. Don't matter. I'm going to do what I got to do to win this individual game. And I'm going to be honest with you, like when you play Green Bay, when you play Aaron Rodgers, part of the game needs to be is respecting him, the player. Just like when you play Barry Sanders. What you do? Just try to not give him the ball? Try to contain him? Why? Because Barry Sanders is still going to be Barry Sanders. And guess what? I seen one of Barry Sanders' greatest plays ever when he did the turnaround play and ran all the way the opposite way. And guess what? They lost by 15. No, 16.
Yeah.
And guess what? That didn't stop Barry. That didn't stop Barry from being Barry.
Yeah, and see, I like what Jahaz said on Instagram. He said, we can do it all. Just choose the right time to do what needs to be done. I think that's the perfect way of saying it. Did you hear what I said about Jahad?
Yeah.
What he said on Instagram is we got to choose the right time, and we got to know when to change it up.
Yep.
And that's something that I think is kind of like what we got to be patient on is that Kellen Moore and Jason Garrett are learning together.
Yep.
Like straight up. They are learning together. They just unveiled a new way of attacking through the air, but you also have a successful running game that got you real far in 2014, it got you real far in 2016, and it got you real far in 2018. So it's hard to abandon what you know work. You know what I mean? But it's almost like you have to choose the right times to do it. And that's what they, to me, still trying to work out. And we saw it it was ugly against the Saints. We might see it beautifully exemplified versus Green Bay, but they got to figure it out. That's a fact. They have to figure it out. And right now, coming out the Saints, it was ugly, but the Saints go kind of make it ugly because also they got a good defense. You got to give them credit too.
But think about this, boss. It's been ugly every time some teams it's just going to be like that. Like some teams are not going to let you be who you want to be. Like, and that's what they're like. And if you think about it, that's what it's supposed to be. Like, but I mean, if you think about it too, like, in the last 2 games that we've played the Saints, they've scored a total of like 24 points. That's something to be happy about. You know what I'm saying? We could just figure it out on that other side. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I know about these great quarterbacks is keeping the ball out of their hands is a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Keeping him on the sidelines and frustrated is a weapon within itself, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I want to echo one more thing that you talked about when you said they let Tom Brady get away with it. You know who else they let get away with it? Carson Wentz. It's a stat that I put on my page, bro.
Their fans is dumb. He shouldn't even have got paid. So, I mean, on that fact right there.
No. But I just want to say something that it just kind of tripped me out. That Carson Wentz only won 1 game in his career when the running game didn't produce over 100 yards. Now, if that was Dak, everybody would know that stat. You know what I mean? So, and if you look at how they played against Green Bay last week, Carson Wentz only had 170 yards. But nobody said anything. They still walked him out for the final interview like he was a hero. literally with 170 yards for the whole game. And the 3 touchdowns that he threw was walk-in touchdowns that me and you could have thrown West Coast, and I'm serious about that. You know what I mean? Literally, one of them was a dump off the Howard where he basically ran in. The other one was a wide-open slant to Jeffries. He was literally wide open, right? And I forgot the third one, but they was like any super routine throws. So my point is, and it's one thing we have to all be careful of, and it's not just Dak. The Dallas Cowboys itself, if we're not careful, we'll fall into traps to where we judging our players harder than the rest of the league, and we judging our team harder than the rest of the league. Because to your point, Brady had a real funky game Sunday. Stank. Mahomes was not himself Sunday, right? But the news and media cycle just went right past it. They said nothing about it. But who in the news every day? Every day still? Dallas Cowboys and Dak and Kellen Moore and Jason Garrett.
Well, also think about this too. We're the only ones that's still saying that we don't know the value of our quarterback too. I think that you would take a lot of that stress off Dak plate by just paying him. Like, we're the only team that's still visibly saying that we don't know what we want to do with our team. Like, think about this, man. Like, there's been some stats, and I don't give a damn. Like, I think this is just Jerry Jones at the top. Like, I don't think the Cowboys really know what they want to do with Dak Prescott. Because think about this. Last year, I was reading through some of my old articles, and I found an article when they were talking about Stephen Jones and about Dak Prescott running the ball. Like, another thing that we didn't do last week against Miami, we ran the ball 3. Dak himself physically ran for 3 first downs on third down. On third down and 3, third down and 4, and third down and 6. He physically tucked the ball and ran himself. Well, do you know on third down and 2, 3 times we threw the ball? Why? Like, why?
Right.
Then you have, think about this. Then you have the owner of your team, Jerry Jones, saying, yes, I want Dak to run. But then you have his son saying, no, we don't want that from our quarterback. In the same article, in the same interview. So it's like,
I
you
can't fight you on that, bro.
like, you get what I mean? So I'm like if I'm Dak, I'm really like, what the hell? Like what do y'all really want me to do?
Orders if you Dak,
but you get what I mean? But you get what I mean, though? It's like, what do you want me to do?
You.
Do you want me to, like, win by any means necessary? Or
you only paying me $2 million. I got a yes, sir, and do it. I will only break into your point, which is an excellent point, and I want to say it in a different way.
I think he's trying to stagger his stats, to be honest with you. That's what I believe. Not
empowered until you pay him.
Yeah, and think about this,
He's
boss.
Not gonna be empowered till you pay him.
I also think they're trying to stagger some of his stats too. I believe that. Because, bro, you're not going to tell me on 3rd and 2, they looked at their scoreboard, at this big-ass sheet that they have of all these plays they can have, and the one play that didn't stand out to his mind that just said, oh, how about we just let him run it? How about we just let him tuck the ball and just run the ball? The dude is 230 pounds. And then it was successful all season up to now. We did not run one play for Dak to run the ball on 3rd down. Not one was called.
Yeah, they took it away. And I'm gonna
That's
give you the
ridiculous, bro.
I'm going to give you the evidence that they took it away. This is the true evidence.
That's 3rd and 2 pass.
After the Redskins game, we had that game secured, right? They ran a read option with Dak, and he, got the first down, but he did get hit in his knee. I don't know if you remember that. It was in the 4th quarter. And Jerry Jones said at the end of that game in the Redskins, he said, I don't know if that was smart for us to run Dak when we had the game secured. Every time they speak on not running Dak, you see Dak stop running, bro. Every time. When was the other time they spoke on Dak running the ball and it just stopped? 2018 against the Redskins again, remember? And he went off with his legs, but that was when he got hit, and Romo was saying, it's a concussion. It's a concussion. But then after that game, Stephen Jones came out and said, I don't think we want our quarterback running the ball. He stopped running for the rest of the year. So it's almost like Jason Garrett and Kellen Moore are going to have their hands tied by their bosses.
Yeah. And
I was thinking about something, bro. That only doesn't apply to Dak. That also applies to Tyron Smith. Because remember, we was talking the other day how we don't run screens anymore to Tyron Smith's side. And I was thinking about it, but guess what? We did run screens to Tyron Smith's side in 2016, but you know when it stopped? You remember when Tyron Smith got hit in his knee? out there on the screen. Remember they cut him?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Detroit game, and he had to miss the next game because of that knee. And I thought about it. I said, that sounds like Jerry and Steven. They saw they big freak left tackle get hit on his knee, and they stopped it, like, take that play out.
Yep, that's true. That's very true. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, like, if you're not letting Dak maneuver and do what he does, you're not letting Dak be him. And if that's the case, like that's the final thing that article said, if that's the case, it don't matter really what plays that you're running, because he's going to have to, like, add something onto the play. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 3rd and 2 down and you're telling him throw the ball, like, he should still have the thought of, if I don't see it, I should be able to go. Like, and he should be able to do that. Dak knows. One thing I love about Dak is he's an athletic athlete who knows how to slide. Like, most quarterbacks don't know how to slide, but you can tell Dak knows how to slide. Like, someone showed him how to slide, because he gets out of bounds. Like, he does a really good job of protecting himself. Like, he protects himself like a small quarterback who's big. Because if you see Cam will run right into you. He don't give a damn. If Cam thinks he's bigger than you, he's going through you. That's why he always get hurt. Dak can get out of bounds. Dak can hit that ground quick. But one thing Dak is also good at is he's good at moving that line and getting that first down. Remember the biggest play he had against the Saints last year? 3rd and 8. What'd Dak do? Throw it up. Nope. Sorry, y'all. I'm gone. 12 yards. First down. Came out like, remember he came out doing this. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I got to get up out of here, man. I told y'all today was going to be a short show. We ended up going 40 minutes to be exact. I got my barber here, and I got to get ready to get myself together so I can get on this plane, man. But hey, we're going to be live in effect all weekend. This weekend coming up, it's going to be live out there in Dallas. We're going to be at the Texas live tomorrow night on the back patio. So if you want to come out there and be a part of our show, you could definitely come out and be a part of our show on that back patio. Or you could just inbox myself on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and we'll let you know exactly where we are. If you guys want to come out and support and see some shows, get some things too. Remember, Saturday we're going to be in the building with Leo Collins. We're going to be in the building with Jalen Smith and one of my surprises. I got one of the big homies coming out. Well, he ain't hit me back yet, but I know he's going to come out, so don't trip. But I got one of the big homies coming out. And, man, you guys already know, if I say he's a big homie, that means what? That means he played for the Cowboys right now. And that means that you're somebody that you guys are going to recognize. So make sure you guys come out and support this Saturday. The tickets, you can buy the tickets at cowboyspackages.com, and they are $95. But you remember, with my passcode, West Coast 25, you get $25 off. So it brings it to $70. Hey, Boss Cowboy, man, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, definitely. You can find me at Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook, and then if you're on Twitter, and that's where I put all my articles in there in a row.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be backwards. The Twitter handle is going to be at Cowboy_boss.
All right, and then you guys already know who I am, man. It is your boy West Coast, man, and I will see you guys in Texas. I'm gonna do a show later on tonight. We'll do something later on tonight. I'm supposed to keep. Obviously, you'll have good content coming up, but make sure you guys stay vigilant, and make sure you guys look out for that notification. You guys already know what it is, though. Never look down because the stars are up. Peace.